வால்யூம் இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ண முடியுமா?
இதோட இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணுங்க. கிட்ட வந்தா நல்லா கேட்கும். ஹெட்ஃபோன்ஸ் வந்து மேல இருந்து இருக்குங்க. ஆனா ஒட்டல் தான் கேட்கும்.
வேண்டாம் வேண்டாம்.
இந்த லோகோ இருக்கா?
வரும்.
இன்னும் ஆரம்பிக்கல. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அவன் பேசுனது நல்லா தான் கேட்குது. அப்புறம் பேசுனே இப்போ. பேச ஆரம்பிச்சோடனே கேட்கும்பா மைக் வச்சோடனே.
I can see a compliment already coming in. Tried your rava idli with green korma. What is that? Venkatesh sir, your name is RCCS20 in the profile. I wish you could change it to Venkatesh Bhatt.
That is the password that was given to me. I am very, very bad with the.
I know. I understand. That's fine. You don't need an introduction, but just saying. Someone can help him change the name. Even
Host, excuse me, host can change the name.
We can change others' name also. I didn't know that.
Host can change anybody's name.
Yeah, you can change
okay.
Name.
Okay, let me try.
L. Rajendran.
Rajendran. பண்ண முடியுமா உங்களால?
I can see it.
ஸ்பாட்லைட் போடுறதுக்கு ஈஸி ஆயிடும் அது ஹோஸ்ட்க்கு, அதுக்கு தான் சொல்றேன். பேர் கொஞ்சம் மாத்த முடியுமா?
மாத்தியாச்சுமா.
Okay, thank you. Great. Awesome.
Okay.
So main program ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி I just want to give a small introduction to everybody. There are about 10 clubs today. Joint speaker meeting, Venkatesh sir. எங்க club பேர் Spotlight, all ladies club இது. So நீங்க all ladies clubக்கு வந்திருக்கீங்க. நாங்க இன்னொரு 9 clubs ஓட சேர்ந்து இந்த program பண்ணிருக்கோம். And of course thanks to our member Dr. Jayanti who initiated this and said we must get you on board. So thank you so much for accepting to come.
Thanks for calling me.
Our pleasure, sir. And then we also want to say that it is going to be an interactive session, not just like an interview kind. So you have to be ready with the question answers that will be shot to you. நிறைய பேருக்கு நிறைய கேள்விகள் இருக்கு. So நீங்க அதை எடுத்துப்பீங்கன்னு நம்புறோம்.
I'll try my best.
Sure, definitely. So I want and request everyone to please keep their questions ready, and you can put it on the chat box. And if you want to ask the question directly also, we will spotlight you and you can ask the question directly.
Mr. Venkatesh sir, I think you have kept the virtual screen switched on. So it is disturbing. It is disturbing.
Oh.
Acha, virtual screen on பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? இல்லையே.
Camera, that's it.
இல்ல, some background disturbance இருக்கு. the blue t-shirt.
நீங்க அந்த வீடியோவுக்கு போயிட்டு அங்க virtual screen ஆஃப் பண்ணுங்க. நன்னு போடுங்க.
Oh yes. Settings, meeting settings ஒன்னு இருக்கு.
சார் அந்த ஸ்டார்ட் வீடியோக்கு பக்கத்துல பாருங்க ஒரு arrow mark இருக்கு. up arrow mark.
Share screen
இல்ல ஸ்டார்ட் வீடியோக்கு பக்கத்துல ஒரு up arrow mark இருக்கு பாருங்க.
ஆமா.
First one is mute.
அந்த வீடியோ ஐகான் பக்கத்துல ஒரு arrow mark இருக்கு பாருங்க. அந்த arrow பிரஸ் பண்ணுங்க. மியூட் இருக்கு. அது பக்கத்துல ஸ்டாப் வீடியோ ஸ்டார்ட் வீடியோன்னு இருக்கு தெரியுமா? கீழ உங்க லேப்டாப் கீழ மியூட்னு ஒரு பட்டன் இருக்கு இல்லையா?
ஸ்டாப்.
அந்த அது பக்கத்துல ஒரு arrow mark இருக்கு.
ஆன் பண்ணேன்.
பிரஸ் பண்ணுங்க. அங்க வந்து வீடியோ செட்டிங்ஸ் இருக்கு. சூஸ் வர்ச்சுவல் பேக்ரவுண்ட் ஒன்னு இருக்கு மேல. அந்த பேக்ரவுண்ட நீங்க ஆஃப் பண்ணிடலாம். நீங்க பண்ண முடிஞ்சதா உங்களால?
I'm just virtual background click பண்ணேன்.
ஓகே, அது வந்து நீங்க போட்டு வச்சிருக்கீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். சோ அது ஆஃப் பண்ணிடலாம் நீங்க.
Okay.
Yes, now it's fine. Now it's fine.
None பண்ணிடுங்க. Okay, fine.
Okay. Now okay.
Oh, again it's come back.
Okay, leave it as it is now.
None பண்ணிடுங்க. Yeah.
Fine now?
Yes.
Sorry, I am assistant handicapped person.
Now you have become expert.
In fact, I learned it today how to go. I didn't know there was a shortcut in terms of the going up
I'll
the
just
arrow.
be
and then
back.
doing it up.
I'll just be
Thank
back.
We start, yeah.
Yeah, let's start. Doesn't matter. The other presidents
Yeah.
can join in.
We'll
if they
join.
are-
Good evening, Rotarian Shankar Menon is in.
Good evening, Shankar.
Good evening, Devi Krishna.
Good evening. Okay, let's get started.
How many of us are there?
88, I think. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Good evening, I'm Janardhan here, Madras North.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, Rotarian Janardhan.
Good evening.
Okay, ladies, shall we start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. Welcome everyone to this wonderful joint speaker meeting of this evening. I request our Charter President Devi Krishna to render the invocation song before we proceed with the main program.
Can you all hear? హరిదాసులు వెడలే హరిదాసులు వెడలే ముచ్చటనే హరిదాసులు వెడలే ముచ్చటనే ఆనందయాళో హరిదాసులు వెడలే Hare Govind Krishnayani Karuna Toji Ucho Hari Sulu Vedale Rajarajuni Rajaraju Rajil త్యాగ రాజునితో కూడి హరిదాసులు వెడలే ముచ్చటగనే ఆనందయాళో హరిదాసులు వెడలే. Thank you.
Thank you, Devi. Can I request our past President Barbara Bedi, Rotarian Barbara Bedi, to welcome the crowd, please?
Yes, before that, I would like to request everyone to self-follow, all the
Yes.
presidents to self-follow themselves. And I call this meeting to order, this joint meeting of Rotary Club of Chennai Spotlight and the participating clubs. Virginia Woolf said, one cannot think well, sleep well, or love well if one has not dined well. Many of us in these difficult COVID times have turned to food as a creative outlet. And it is my great pleasure today, on behalf of Rotary Club of Chennai Spotlight's President Rotarian Jayanti Karthikeyan, who is away at a family engagement, to welcome our guest speaker today, Ace Chef Venkatesh Bhatt. Very warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
And I would also like to welcome the President, Rotarian Hemalata Johnson, and members of RC of Chennai Pinnacle, President Rotarian Sharda Ramani, and members of RC of Chennai Tiruvanmayur, President Rotarian K.R. Anandi, and members of RC of Meenambakam, President Rotarian Kayarvari, Sampath Kumar, and members of RC of Chennai Pearls, President Rotarian Swarnalata Mahesh, and members of RC Chennai Bharati, President Rotarian Venkat Ramesh, and members of RC Madras Marina, President Rotarian V. Venkatraman, and members of RC Madras North, President Rotarian Ramalingam, and members of RC Chennai Info City, President Rotarian Jayanti Nagarajan, and members of RC Chennai Madhavaram. And last but not least, President Rotarian Ravi Shankar and members of RC Chennai Prime. I also extend a very warm welcome to members of the host club RC Chennai Spotlight. Our guest today, Ms. Suja George, Vice Chair of Alpha Group of Institutions, and all other visiting Rotarians, especially, of course, I can see Manjula ma'am and GGR, I saw GGR Neil there. Yeah, so a warm welcome to all of you, and thank you all for being here today.
Thank you so much, Barbara Bedi. May I request Rotarian Hemlata Johnson, President of RCC Pinnacle, to please render the 4-way test.
Thank you, Sujata. Is my voice audible?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah. The 4-way test. The 4-way test of the things we say or do is a test used by Rotarians worldwide as a moral code for business and personal relationships. The test can be applied to all aspects of life. The first one of the 4-way test is it the truth? We are very familiar with the term the truth and nothing but the truth, and what it implies. The message is that what is said in a court of law is the truth. If you don't tell the truth, you're guilty of what is called perjury. The second one is it fair to all concerned? This requires that everyone in a relationship be treated fairly, including ourselves. Fairness means that we treat everyone with justice, equality, and given a fair share. The third one is, will it bring goodwill and better friendship? The term goodwill in a personal sense means doing something from a position of kindness and compassion in the friendly hope that the action will succeed. Goodwill and strong friendship are the invisible glue that holds strong clubs together. The fourth one is, will it be beneficial to others? We must stop to consider how our actions would impact those important to us. Will our words and actions help others grow? We should be working to help all improve in our skills and abilities in order to raise level of consciousness, feeling of empathy toward others, and feeling of self-worth within us and others. Therefore, think before you act. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hemlata. I personally want to welcome all of you for this wonderful joint speaker meeting. Just like Barbara Bedi said, it is an honor for us to have Chef Venkatesh Bhatt amongst us. But Spotlight is all about All Ladies Club, like I said, and we have started a signature event around 6 years back. And this is the 7th year of our inception of this wonderful club, primarily consisting of all ladies. We take a minute, request you just to watch this video, because there are a lot of viewers today, and we take this opportunity to play a small video of a signature event called Rafts. I request the host to play the Rafts teaser. It's a signature event and you will know more about it. We will talk more about it, but just the teaser, please. Rajendran.
MC, you are on mute.
Suja, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, Shri. That was a Ralph's teaser. And can I request Barbara Bedi to just introduce Ralph's program to the viewers, please? In short, briefly, Barbara.
Yes, everyone, RAFS is a fundraiser that we do every year. And basically, it's a personality contest, not a beauty contest. And all Rotarians are requested to participate with great gusto. And there are many categories, Mr. Rotary, Mrs. Rotary, a Master Rotary, and Miss Rotary. And there are also a category for the Rotaractors. So you will be getting details soon sent to your presidents. And so please register by the time and send in your videos for the prelims. Dates will be announced soon.
President, I think the MC's connection has gone out. She has got disconnected.
Barbara, can you continue, please? I think Suja is.
Yeah.
Jayanti?
Hello.
Jaya? Yeah, go ahead.
Is the screen okay, Devi?
Yes, yes.
So, Barbara?
Yes, we have finished that, Sujan. So let's proceed with the introduction.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you so much. The teasers of RAFS will be...
you haven't informed the extension. You haven't expanded the thing, no? Abbreviation, RAFTS.
Yes, it's a Rotary Attitude, Fashion, Talent Show. So it's nothing to do with only the fashion quotient. It's not about only fashion pageant. It's an overall personality. And the teasers will be circulated to all the presidents. Please, please share it with your members. Please coax them, persuade them to take part in this wonderful program. And there are lots and lots of prizes. And of course, Mr. Rotary, and that is also there. And please encourage your Rotaractors also to take. Thank you. Now moving on to the main program, ladies and gentlemen, the much awaited program with, they say, a man's a way to a man's heart. Trust me, it's the same way with the women too. We also, but yes, we had a lot of inquiries from the members today that wish this program was live. We had the chef with us in person so that we could have asked him to cook something for us, and so we could have tasted that food also, his food also. He has been extremely popular thanks to the social media, and of course, if not in person, we are able to see him on our small screens from our homes. So I request Sharda to please introduce our guest speaker.
Thank you, Sujata. It's a privilege and an honor to introduce our chief, the guest speaker of the day, who needs no introduction, but still I get the pleasure of presenting him towards the entire audience here. Coming from Udupi and from a hotelier background, it's no wonder that but still he has polished all his abilities to become the CEO of Accord. We always say that it's a full-time job, but he always writes as a byline that he is CEO by the day and the chef by night. How passionate he is about cooking. After finishing his studies, he went to Asa Memorial to have his catering degree, then went to Cornell to finish his graduation. Cornell is an Ivy League college, and you can understand how much of a passion he has towards grooming himself up. And not satisfied with just an Ivy League college degree, he also went to Singapore to get a management degree. So no wonder he could turn around the Accord Hotel when it was in its downs, with a dispirited staff and a lot of financial problems and things like that. And today Accord is where the food happens every day with the different varieties, all thanks to Venkatesh Bhatt. So I also heard a rumor that the Big Boss, which is the most happening Vijay TV program, one of the contestants wanted to get out so that he can be part of Cook with Komali. And our guest speaker today, Venkatesh Bhatt, is one of the judges, along with our own chef also as two judges for judging the Cook with Komali contestants. And you know how he became very famous is that it's not that he wasn't famous earlier, but we all came to get to know the limelight of all his previous professional, I should say that climb ups in different hotels, starting from Leela Palace, where his cooking was so enjoyed by all the visiting cricketers that one of the cricketers, very you know, in a moment of enjoying his cooking, gave the title that he is the Sachin Tendulkar of cooking. So what a wow moment it is for him to have got this kind of acclaim from all the cricketers who were eating food there. Then he went on to Taj, and in Chola, the South Indian session was always very much favored because of our guest Venkatesh Bhatt. So I can go on and on about his career progression, but the ultimate is that being a CEO of Accord Metropolitan. And in Vijay TV, his Samayal episode has been running very successfully, crossing more than even 100 events. And we just got a comment from one of the participants saying that she tried his recipe, Rava Idli with green chutney, and everyone enjoyed. So what more do you need when you are, you can not only cook, enjoy it, and then make sure that the people who are eating enjoy it, but also talk about it and make sure that the others are following the recipe in such a manner that they are also able to cook a fantastic dish. Thanks to his spreading his knowledge for all of us to benefit out of it. And one small thing is that he's a vegetarian, but his non-vegetarian dishes are excellent, is what the comment that I've got. I haven't tasted it, but all his vegetarian dishes are fantastic, and I go again and again to Accord to taste only the main, and I just leave the main courses and I go only for the starters, which are varied and which are very, very tasty. So with this, I hand over back to Sujata to continue the proceedings so that we can hear from Cooking King himself rather than from all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharda. I can see that you're a huge fan of Mr. Venkatesh Bhatt. We all are, of course. There are chefs who actually cook for the taste, but I think Mr. Venkatesh cooks also keeping the health part in mind. He takes care of the health also. So we're going to talk much more about this, and we're going to also ask him many, many questions. As I requested, I request again all the viewers, please keep your questions ready and keep it posted in the chat group. We will come back to you. And now over to Chef Venkatesh Bhatt. The mic is all yours, sir.
Thank you. Good evening to all the renowned people sitting in a Zoom chat. Really happy to be part of this elite group. I am not part of any Rotary Club, any of the clubs because of shortage of time. I will not be able to do justice if I'm not able to give my full time to it. So that is the reason why I'm not joined any of your esteemed clubs. Dr. Jayanti has been instrumental, a great family friend of ours, in making sure that I set in time for this and meet you all here. Thank you so much for the opportunity and the wonderful introduction you gave me. I'm not sure how worthy I am of all your words, but I will try to live up to it. Today's topic, what is given to me, is catering as a vocation. I would start to say that when 1993, when I started my career, I was already a hotelier. My father was a hotelier. He had 3 or 4 restaurants. I finished my 10th standard and my dad said that I need to come to the hotel to take care of business. I thought I will take a long vacation like DDLJ, Shah Rukh Khan. I thought I will on vacation. My dad said, he sprinkled water on my face and said, boy, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, go and open the hotel. 7 o'clock the restaurant should open. That was my first day of 10th standard holidays, and I went to take care of my Durga lunch home in Chennai. So there it started, 1987. From then, it has been a roller coaster ride. I'm enjoying every moment of it. And I realized that I need to do a hotel management degree because I was not very good in academics. I was bad in maths. So I thought, okay, I will do hotel management, and then only then somebody will give me a girl to get married. So that was my mother's problem. Well, you are just standard, nobody will give you a girl. So then I went on to do my hotel management degree in Asan Memorial from 1990, and I completed it in 93, 94. My father said I should come back and take care of business, but my uncle, who was the then FHRI president, FHRI stands for Hotels, Federation for Hotels and Restaurants Association of India, which governs all the five-star category, giving away five-star categories to the hotels. So it is affiliated to the Tourism Department of India. So he was the president. The late Mr. Balakrishna Rao. So he said that I need to work outside, understand how business works, and then come and take over business. I joined the Taj then, 1996 I joined when the famous restaurant Southern Spice was about to be opened. So because I was from a South Indian family, related to the Dasa Prakash family, the then executive chef, Chef Natarajan, said that I should be placed in Southern Spice, and I was handed over the responsibility of curating about 4,000 recipes that went on research and came back. There were about 4 or 5 teams that were sent all over the South to famous personalities' houses, and about 4,000 recipes were collected and brought over to the Taj Coromandel in Chennai. So the responsibility was given to me to curate all the recipes, try it over a period of 1.5 years, and call the best people of Chennai and give them and allow them to taste the food. So that is when I realized that South Indian food has not got its due, because there is so much. Every 100 kilometers, there is a difference in making a simple dish like a sambar. All over the South, Andhra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Pondicherry, you name it, every 100 kilometers, there is a variation in the recipe. It all depended upon the ingredients that was locally sourced, that was available, seasonal. What was available in Andhra would not be available in Chennai. So because of which the recipes started changing, the taste, the flavor, texture, everything started changing. So then I realized that there is so much to South Indian food that I should start my own research on it. And I went on a research for 3 years, where I got to understand the nuances of South Indian food from the Chettinad Palace, from M.M. Ramasamy, the late Mr. M.M. Ramasamy's house, the late Shivaji Ganeshan sir's house in Surakotai, went to Nagarjuna Akineni's house in Andhra, went to late Mrs. Mariam Matthew in Kerala, the editor of Malayalam Manorama. So went, trained under their cooks, understood the nuances of the cooking, and came back to the Taj. As the sous chef of Southern Spice, I was there for 5 years. I was one of the fastest to grow the ladder. From a trainee chef de partie, in 5 years, I became the regional chef for South India for all the Taj hotels. With the popularity came some demand, so I was given an offer in Leela Palace, which was about to be opened in Bangalore then. So I moved to Leela Palace in 2001. From there, I became the corporate chef of Leela. Then I started my own business chain called the South Indies, Born South, Up South chain of restaurants in Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad and all that. Then I came back to Chennai because one Mr. Jagat Rakshakan, who is the owner of Accord Group of Hotels, wanted me to come and take over the hotel chain for him because it was not doing well. So it has been 8 to 9 years now since I came and joined here, and today we are at a 6 5-star hotel chain and having projects of about 4 more going on. So this has been my run with my career. All this happened, I would say, because I did hotel management. Hotel management way back in 1968 when the first college was opened in IHM Chennai, people used to laugh. Oh, you're going to join a hotel management school, or you're going to go to a college to learn cooking? That was the question people used to ask then. But today, people are looking upon at a chef as if he's a film star. He's no less than a doctor. He's no less than a film star. There's so much of glamour attached to a chef's life because of our people. Hospitality has gone into the blood of Indians. We expect, even if it is a tea shop or a 7-star hotel, our expectation is so high in terms of cleanliness, hygiene, courtesy, hospitality. Our expectation is so high, it is in our blood. We like to be served. We like to be pampered. We like to go to a place which is clean. Thanks to all the travel that has happened, the opening up of the economy, people are well traveled now. They know what people never used to hear a name called nasi goreng. Today people are talking how to make a nasi goreng. Indians are telling a better recipe than a Malaysian. So people are so well traveled. They know about food. They've experienced it and they expect the same thing. So with all this growth, today a hospitality professional is no more only a chef. He's a nutritionist. He's a doctor. He's a person who can give a newborn baby, a 3 months, 6 months, what a kid can eat. Everything a chef has to know. It is a holistic approach. There is so much of demand. You take the defense forces, you take hospitals, you take any ambit, travel, tourism, trade, everything. A hospitality professionals, knowledge is important. I had an experience about 10 years back. There is a monastery near Coorg. It's called a place called Bailikuppe, where it is like Dharamshala in the north, where the Tibetan monasteries are set up. There are about 300 monks living there and learning Buddhism. So the chief of that temple in Bailikuppe, the Tibetan temple, came to Leela and wanted somebody to come and teach his people so that the monks can sustain their prayers for about 8 to 9 hours. So I had gone there, given them nutritive food, and taught the cooks there what all can be done for them so that they retain their energy. They can sit down in meditation for 8 hours, 9 hours. So the demand for a good hospitality professional is very, very high. Government of India has taken up this as a very, very big project in their prestigious Hunar Se Rojgar program, where from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, people who have finished the 10th standard or 12th standard, who are jobless, can take up hotel management, not in the college, but come to a 5-star hotel, and they can be in that hotel for about 6 months' time, do a certification course, and then that same hotel where they trained will absorb them as a full-time employee. Out of the 3,500 hotels that is enrolled in this scheme of the Government of India, Accord also has 3 hotels enrolled in it. So youth from Kashmir who are used for stone pelting are coming to Chennai today to learn what a hotel management is, what kitchen is, what South Indian food is about. They are learning it in 6 months to 9 months time, and then they're getting employed with 15,000 rupees minimum salary. So this is a Government of India initiative. So hospitality business is growing exponentially, and with a correct hospitality professional. When I say correct hospitality professional, the most important thing is the attitude. There are about 150 people in a catering college every year passing out. Not everyone from the 150 can become a Hemant Oberoi or a Sanjeev Kapoor. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of attitude. You need to be willing to learn. You need to be willing to put in a lot of hours of work. I started my career with putting about 18 to 19 hours every day. Not 1 day, 2 days. It was about 3 years. Till the time I got my Chef de Party confirmation, I used to work for 18, 19 hours a day. I used to peel about 350, 400 kgs of onion every day. The first day in my hotel in Taj Coromandel, when I went and told my chef that, Chef, I am a Brahmin, I have never touched non-veg in my life. It will be nice if you can give me a vegetarian kitchen. My chef Natarajan said, okay, very good, you're a Brahmin. Good, tomorrow morning you'll report to the butchery. So that was how we had people. For the next 6 months, everybody else had gone to their parent department. I was the only one stuck in the butchery. But today, there are about 16 HOMTs who joined along with me on June 17, 1996. But I am the best person who can do a chicken Ballantine today. I can stitch a chicken closing my eyes. So because that was the reason why I was put in the butchery for 6 months' time. I had my hands fully swollen up for the first 2 months because I had to handle prawns and lobsters for the first time. I didn't know that I had an allergy to seafood. But handling them itself had so much of problem. But when I went and showed my chef said, good, tomorrow you will be given double the quantity of prawns. In about a week's time, your hand should be all right. So that was the type of people we had to groom us. Today, we revere them as God. Because of them, I am what I am today. So the attitude, what I mean to say is, you need to have the right attitude. People have to have the attitude to learn, give their full 100%, and success is there. The immense success is there. There is so much of opportunity. The cruise lines, the airlines. When did catering start in the railways? Up to 1975, there was never a pantry car in the train. 1975, the opportunity opened up to serve coffee and tea. Today, there is a full meal. You take the Rajdanis, you take the Shatabdis, you take any palace on wheels, everything. There is 5-star gourmet experiences that is being provided to our travelers. So for everything, there is a requirement for a good hospitality professional. Apart from kitchen, there is so much of possibility for front office, for people who can talk multiple languages. They can be in the housekeeping, the front office, the F&B service. People who are good with, people who have completed their master's engineering are opting to come and join as a chief engineer in a hotel because the pay is about 2 to 2.5 lakhs a month. Today, a good, well-versed, a departmental chef is being paid 40,000-50,000 rupees every month. You just need to be good in one cuisine, be it South Indian, North Indian, Chinese, Mexican, anything. If you're good in one cuisine, the salaries are ranging between 40,000-50,000 rupees per month. That is a start salary. And you jump after 3 years or 5 years, the salaries in India is ranging between 1.5 lakhs. So there is so much of demand, there is so much of growth. People are recognizing hotel professionals in media, in social media, in TV, and there are, if you see in social media, the highest searched topic will be cooking. So if you go to YouTube, there is a separate segment called entertainment. Along with it, there is next thing is cooking. So there are so many people who are searching for cooking. There is a demand for good recipes. There are people who have not been taught to enter the kitchen before wedding. Not that it is a woman's job, even I'm talking about men, till they travel outside country for studies. They are not at all well versed with making a coffee. So today YouTube is providing them with all recipes, and thanks to social media, that people are able to make use of it and churn out great dishes. If not like me, at least 80% of me also is something to sustain themselves. So all these things are opportunities that this 21st century has offered, and I think we should make use of it. Our people should be educated and be told that hospitality is a growing business. Till the time there is hunger, till the time people have the money to travel around the world, I think this profession will never go, it will not go out of choice. So you need to eat 3 times a day. And when you have some money, you really want to travel at least to the next city. So all these things is a possibility for a hospitality professional. And a hospitality professional, like a doctor, doesn't have a retirement age. He can, till his last breath, he can work. So there is so much to do and showcase. So it is a big opportunity there for people who are aspiring to become something in life, rather than going and chasing about going to be a lawyer or doctor or engineer. It's also a good career. It's also a lucrative career. And like every other career, if your attitude is right, success is immense. So I thank all of you to have patiently listened to me about the industry that I work for. And I hope that listening to this, a lot of people will be encouraged to join this industry and come up in life. I hope this information was useful. And I'd be more than happy if somebody can use it wisely.
Thank you so much, Chef. That was interesting. In fact, I don't know whether marriages or traveling abroad changes anyone to turn into a chef, but I'm sure this COVID has. Everybody has become a chef. So there was nothing else to do. So men got into the kitchen and children got into the kitchen. And in a way, it's a blessing that the family got together in the kitchen and they have learned so many things. Chef, there'll be a lot of questions asked to you. And are you okay to take questions now?
I will try as much as possible.
Sure. So I may request everyone to please raise your hand or possibly post your questions in the chat box. We will highlight you. And there was one question from our GGR Neil, which is, of course, everybody wants to ask this, is you are a pakka vegetarian. So now, how do you taste the non-veg food and how do you say that it is actually nice, it tastes good, the salt, karam, everything is fine? That's GGR Neil for you. Neil, please shoot. You can ask the question directly.
Yeah, so good evening, Venkatji. I'm really happy to be a part of this program.
Thank you.
I've been really watching your programs and even I come to your hotel, tasted your foods. Thanks for excellent hospitality again. Now, my question to you is, you being a very pakka vegetarian, the Brahmins also, they eat other non-vegetarian foods sometimes here in the country. But then you being a vegetarian, how do you make yourself or ensure that the non-vegetarian dishes are cooked properly or that are to be tasted in the proper manner? How is it you manage the texture, the taste of it, even the what do you call it, the boiling of the other things which I normally see in the Cook with Komali? How do you manage to do it, sir?
I mean, it's not rocket science. It is very, very easy. I have been on the limelight, so people are thinking that I'm the only one who can do it. I know about minimum about 10 or 15 housewives who are vegetarians, whose husbands are non-vegetarians, but they cook their husbands and they cook much better than me. So we all cook. I think so. Everybody in this forum knows that when we cook for as prasadam for God, for offering, as naivedyam to God, we don't taste it. We don't see whether salt is there, sugar is there. We keep it to God blindfoldedly. We know that it is right. It comes out of experience. I had excellent chefs with me when I started my career, like people like Mr. Venugopal, Mohan, Chandran. I still remember their names. They are all stalwarts who are all a part of wedding cooking, whom we hired for Taj Coromandel for the opening of Southern Spice. So those people taught me because I used to help them. I used to cut their vegetables, clean their bins, and make sure that their kitchen is ready for them to come and start their work every day. So they taught me the small nuances. What is the difference between handling a cauliflower or a potato or a chicken and a lamb? So it was just the percentage of cooking that you need to increase, and the seasoning that you need to increase when you're cooking. It becomes like common sense after a period of time. So a lot of housewives, our mother doesn't taste her cooking every day, which she prepares for us. The only thing that we see is we do it with love and interest. I think it should fall in place. My grandfather is a hotelier, and surprisingly, I have seen my grandfather seeing a coffee and saying whether the coffee had sugar or not, because for them it was common sense. After putting sugar, the coffee used to have a glaze because of the caramelization of the heat. But if you don't add sugar, it did not have the shine. It did not have the glaze. With that common sense, he used to say that was sugar or not. The same way, salt. If the dish is correct with salt, the color of the dish will be perfect. If the
That's amazing, sir.
dull, that means salt is less. So it is more of common sense and experience. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I think I've fairly learned it a little bit well, so that I'm able to do it a little professionally.
Oh, thank you,
I
sir.
happen to also, yes,
Thank
yes,
you. நம்ம
Vijay.
ரசம் பண்ணாலே 10 வாட்டி திட்டு வாங்க வேண்டியிருக்கு வீட்ல. Anyway, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
நீங்க ரசம் ஒரு வாட்டி பண்ணா 10 வாட்டி திட்டு வாங்குவீங்க.
இல்ல டாக்டர் வந்து
Can I
கிராண்ட்
take
வந்து டாக்டரா இருக்கலாம் இல்லையா? So maybe and many students actually come out of that laboratory by seeing the animal being cut and dissected and all that. So I think Venkatesh, what do you think? It's almost similar, no? A doctor and a chef profession, whether you are a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian, yet you have to do it because it's your profession.
True.
அண்ட் உங்கள்ட்ட ஒரு கேள்வி நான் என்ன கேட்கணும் ஆசைப்படுறேன்னா, இப்போ வந்து மசாலா எல்லாமே கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரே மாதிரி தானே இருக்கும். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் when you prepare the masala for the non-veg, before you put the non-veg into the masala, will you taste the gravy to know how it is nice or not?
Initial period when I was learning, I used to try and do that, but unfortunately, about 80 or 90% of the dishes, the meat is cooked along with the masalas most of the time. Unless and until it is something like a kodi melagu curry or a kodi vepud or something like that, where the gravy is separate and then finally you add the meat and you cook it. Some fish stew or chicken stew can be tried, but it's difficult to do for all the dishes. So it is better you learn the hard way, understand the meat. Now seafood requires very less time to cook. A prawn or a fish will cook exactly in 8 to 10 minutes time. A chicken will cook in 12 to 14 minutes time.
Okay.
Put it on direct.
My God.
So, lamb, if it
Can
is
I take Neil's question one step further?
Yeah.
I am Shankar Menon. I'm from the same club as Neelakantan. Does the smell or the aroma of the food that is cooking also tell you whether the dish is cooking perfectly or because smell is a very strong sense in a human body.
Very true.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why if you see my YouTube channel, if you follow my recipes, I would say that after adding tamarind pulp or chili powder, make sure that the raw smell of the ingredient goes. That is the sense of smelling. So once the raw smell goes away, you get the aroma. Till the time the raw smell is there, you don't get the flavors, you don't get the aroma, you get the raw smell of the tamarind. Even when you're making sambar, even if it is as simple as a rasam, you add tamarind pulp and boil it for 2 minutes, you will get the raw tamarind flavor. But post 5-7 minutes, you add the asafoetida and the coriander leaves, you start getting the aroma. So of course, you attribute it to the smell of the dish. The final end product is determined with the flavors that come out. True.
Well, now we're just going to come back to this vocation. Catering is a vocation. So there is a question asked by Sharda. You have a question? Please go ahead. She wants to ask something about the course, the hotel management course. Sharda?
I think it was somebody else, but still, which is
Okay,
the,
somebody else? Okay.
Me, Suja, 1 second. Sharda, did you want to ask that? Or can I ask?
Please.
Can I finish the question?
Yes, please.
That was, how do we take it up with a lot of villages that we are currently working with regard to getting admission into the program that you are talking about in hotel industry as apprentice?
Can you come again? Sorry.
See, you are talking about getting in apprentice from, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari into the hotel sector, and then training them up. How does one of the villages? How do we encourage? See, Rotary works with a lot of schools and villages where these people don't have any access to these kind of information. If you can share where we have to go, we can find out and then tell these people to apply for these kind of positions.
You can go into Hunar Se Rozgar. Hunar, Hunar, Hunar Se Rozgar Tak. So this is a scheme by the government of India, central government of India. You need to register yourself with all the details, whether you're a 10th standard pass out, there is some age criteria to it, and you're enrolled. They ask the option of which industry you want to get into. So where hospitality also is one of the this thing that schemes that you can stream that you can choose. So once you get enrolled, the government of India gives you, according to the place of your living, a close by proximity job is given to you, which is enrolled. Like us, there will be a lot of other hoteliers who are enrolled into this scheme, which is a compulsory thing for 5-star classification. Now, no 5-star hotel can get away with Hunar Se Rozgar. They have to do it. It's a CRS activity. It's a social responsibility, CSR activity, that you have to take these people, train them up, and you have to give them job if they are interested to work. They are given the first right for employment. So it is a very big boost to youngsters who can come up and take up this as a challenging career. So it is very easy. You just have to log into Hunar Se Rozgar Tak.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, can you spell that Hunar Se?
H-U-N-A-R, Hunar Se, S-E, Se, Rozgar, R-O-S-G-A-R, Tak, T-A-K.
Yeah, it's a Hindi word.
Yeah, it's a Hindi word.
Yeah.
Hunar Se Rozgar Tak.
Is that clear, or should we just type it in the chat box? Okay, this one, yeah, please, someone.
Type in the chat box. Someone type in the chat box, please.
Yeah, we'll do that. And I don't understand this. Who's CC? Okay, he's saying that you mentioned internships at hotels sponsored by the government of India. Can you please tell us the name of the program or where we could get more information about it? That is one question. And there is another one from Sudha Murli. She said, sir, if someone wants to look at hospitality, that is a chef, as a profession, what should a kid look to take it as a stream when they enter the 11th standard? To make hospitality industry as a mainstream, as a chef.
See, there is a course that offers you to become a chef directly. What is available is a 3-year diploma in hotel management or a 4-year BSc graduation. Is there available in IHMCT.
Okay.
That again has
maximum borrow.
Kindly mute everyone, please. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So IHMCT is Institute of Hotel Management and Catering Technology, which is there in about 22 centers in India. It is a government college for hotel management. So you write your 12th standard. If your aggregate marks is more than 50 marks, you are eligible to apply for an exam. You should be less than 20 years old and good in English, in talking English. So you are eligible to apply for it. Once you apply, there is a group discussion, there is an interview, and then there is an entrance exam. Once you pass it, you are enrolled into the college. It is a 4-year degree course. You finish that. In the 2nd year and the 3rd year and the 4th year, there is 1 month training in every year in 5-star hotels. The colleges send you to various 5-star hotels in various schemes: front office, housekeeping, F&B service, which is the waiter's job, and the restaurant manager. All those people come under that category, and the chef, the kitchen. So after going in all these places, the 4th year you decide which you want to specialize in. So the 4th year you specialize in that particular department. If I want to specialize in kitchen, I choose a particular kitchen in the 4th year and I specialize in that, and I start studying about that more in detail in the 4th year. Post which the 5-star hotels come to the college and do campus recruitment. It is a big thing that every year there is always a shortage of people for 5-star hotels to come and pick up. The Taj and the Oberois and the Leelas and the ITCs, they come and pick up the creme de la creme. And out of the 150 students, about 90 or 100 are picked up from these 4 brands alone. And then the leftover is only 50. for people like me to go and pick up. There are hundreds of chains of hotels who need educated young people in their team. So usually we are short of people. We don't have enough students in the college to pick up. So there is a lot of job opportunities, but there's less of people. But the most important thing that we see in people to hire is the attitude. We don't want people who already have the knowledge because they come with the baggage. We want people who are having learnability. They have to come to us and start learning what we want to teach them. So that is what we want. We do not hire the best, the class first, the class toppers, because it is difficult for us to change their attitude. But the hardworking kids are out there, are open to learning, are very open to growing. So such are the people whom we hire in our group and give them growth. So when you go to the hotel, you decide which kitchen you want to work in for. Suppose you have been selected for the kitchen as a HOMT, Hotel Operations Management Trainee, Hotel Management Trainee, Operations Trainee. There are various designations that you join in. So according to that, you join to a kitchen and then you decide which kitchen you want to specialize in. I wanted to specialize in South Indian kitchen. I got the opportunity because Southern Spice was about to open when I joined the Taj Coromandel. I was fortunate enough to get the same. But there are a lot of people who will not get the same kitchen that they want. Somebody might be pushed into the bakery. Some might be pushed into the Chinese kitchen. Some might be pushed into the continental kitchen. You never know where your opportunity lies. But you specialize in the opportunity that's given to you and you grow from there. First 3 to 4 years, it is going to be hard work. It is going to be learning. People have to be prepared for that. It is not going to be a cakewalk. It is not a rosy path. You have to.
Is it true that you have to do all the dirty jobs of washing dishes and all that stuff, mopping floors? Is it true?
Just business. Everything is beautiful. I have washed 80 bathrooms in a day. I have washed more than 300, 400 vessels sitting on the floor. And I think that is the reason why I'm here today. So it is a fantastic journey, and people have to be willing to do it. I wouldn't say that I become the general manager in the 5th year of my career. If that is the attitude, I don't think so you're recommended for this job. You need to climb the ladder with all the necessary talent. There is no shortcut for success. Hard work is the only way.
A lovely thing that you said, that when you come there you have to come there without any baggage. So you guys actually teach them. So you don't want an experienced guy to come and join you. I think that is one of the main reasons that every branch of a hotel or a restaurant has a similar taste. I'm sorry to mention this, suppose I eat Murugan Idli in anywhere, the same sambar or sangeet or sambar pata illa edathilum ore madha irukum. Is that the reason, sir, that you are teaching them to cook in a specific manner, that entire branch, all the branches, wherever the ore taste vandu signature madri adnal da appdi iruka, because you guys teach them?
Training, and moreover, all these big chains have their centralized kitchen where the cooking is done in one source, and they have their own vendors who supply them the ingredients from derived from one area. So
agreed.
The quality consistency is there, which is taken care of, and that is why they're able to grow into a chain of restaurants. Be it the Sangeetas, the Murugan Idli shop, whoever you mentioned, who has grown, become big, have standardization as a policy. So they teach the basics which cannot change. Their 4 primary things is the sambar and the 3 chutneys that they serve. The idli and the coffee has to be consistent. So that is the thing that they give their staff. They make sure that it is achieved.
Okay, there is one question from Geeta. She's asking, how can we cook vegetarian food with the original color without adding any kind of an artificial color? How can we just retain the color for a vegetarian dish?
There are a lot of ways that you can do it. I don't think so. We have, as a policy at the Accord Hotels, we do not use any food coloring at all in our food.
I see.
It is all natural colors, unless and until the ingredients that we use are colored automatically, which doesn't happen usually. Adding the correct amount of salt retains the brightness of a dish. While you're cooking green leafy vegetables, add a little bit of sugar to it while you're blanching them or boiling them. The color of the chlorophyll, the green color retains very well. While cooking carrots, to retain the bright orange color, we add a pinch of cooking soda or a pinch of sugar so that the color retains. So each ingredient, acts differently. Usually we add the salt in the last, so that the bright, the color of the dish comes out as a final product. After If you cook for too long, the color changes. It becomes dull. So usually
see.
it is added at the end of the cooking process so that the color is bright.
I see.
I have a health-related doubt.
Yeah.
Now, in your
Yes, sir.
hotels, you use all sophisticated cooking equipments. So what about these normal hotels like your Ratna Cafe, where they literally use fire and the smoke? Is that very hazardous and to the cooks?
See, with technology, I don't think so. In today's world, except for some big biryani vendors who have their big godowns where they make tons and tons of biryanis and distribute to a lot of people as vendors. Apart from them, I don't think so. Anybody is using live charcoal apart from tandoor and grills or firewood in these days. Talking about 30 years back in our hotels, in my father's hotel, we used to have our dosa tawa burning with sawdust and wood logs. That time, the staff were, it was very hazardous for the staff working there, standing there on the hot range for about 3-4 hours at a stretch and working. But today, with electrical ovens and gas ignited things, equipments, I don't think so. It is any danger now. So. It's fine. I mean, we work on the hot range. Yes, in the process, you also get cooked a little bit, but I think it's
So I remember Sridevi is asking questions. It's a very interesting question actually. I'll ask on behalf of her. She's saying hotel coffee குடிச்சா அந்த அளவுக்கு டேஸ்டியா இல்ல. ஆனா சாப்பாடு டேஸ்டியா இருக்கு. ஆனா வீட்ல காஃபி தான் நல்லா இருக்கு அப்படிங்கறா. ஃபில்டர் காஃபி. அது எப்படி?
பெர்ஸ்பெக்டிவ். அவங்க ரொம்ப நல்லா காஃபி பண்ணுவாங்க போல இருக்கு.
Husband பண்ணி கொடுப்பாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் சார். There's also a very naughty gentleman who's asking, what is an interesting dish that I can make to impress my wife?
Appreciate that's something. That's the biggest dish that you can do. Half of us don't do that. We take it for granted.
Yeah.
A glass of hot water, I think you appreciate it. I think that is the best gift that you can give to your wife, which I keep telling everybody. And because there's a lot of effort put in from morning to night, though it is not going into the kitchen and doing things for their husbands, but that is how we are tuned, unfortunately. The day that you go inside and even make a cup of coffee and wake her up in the morning and give it to her and say, it is surely the way that you have made it always, I think that's the biggest gift that you can give.
Mr. Rajendran is asking, who cooks at your place, at your home?
Obviously me.
Oh, really? I thought you were at work.
I cook a lot at home. My work is very flexible. I make sure that I spend quality time with my family. My work is always secondary for me. For me, family is first, family, friends. My time is very important. I've made sure that I chose my career the way it suits me. So I cook a lot at home. It's a de-stressor for me. It is not a duty. It's not a work. I don't do it for appreciation or anything. I do it as a stress buster. If I enter the kitchen, I start talking to my knife. I have a collection of knife. I have my cutting board, my equipments, which are my best friends. So they listen to me. They don't argue with me. So that's the best thing that I can do.
So we have one very interesting question. I hope you can take that. Barbara Bedi, over to you. Thank you, sir, for that answering that question. Barbara Bedi wants to ask a question to you. Barbara.
Yes, chef. This you might get into some little trouble, but I wanted to ask you this question. My daughter, who's 15, I mean, is very interested in going studying culinary and getting honed in culinary skills and pursuing it as a career. So I want to ask you, do you think the Indian institutes are as good, or do you think someone who really wants to excel has to go abroad?
I wouldn't say that there is anything that is better in going and learning abroad. Your basics, your hard work cannot be taught in a better country than India. Because there is so much of demand here. The way people treat you when you enter the industry is very, very apt here. You go and work in the US, I'm sorry to name countries, you go Western countries and you work there, the first thing that you talk is about human rights, self-respect, ego, all these things. You cannot ask anybody to work for more than 8 hours. You have to address them as sir, mister, excuse me, and you have to ask his permission. And it is little difficult to work in India than there. So once you study, graduated from here, you've got your work experience in India, I think you can survive anywhere. It is going to be only better than in India. But
Okay, that's great. Okay.
finishing your hotel management, if you want to specialize in bakery confectionery,
Yeah, that's what she's interested in.
Culinary Institute of America, where you can go and learn specific to your specialization. Such
Okay.
advanced course is not available in India.
Okay, that's great.
Finish your hotel management, work for a couple of years, know the industry here, and then go and do that specialized course, which is going to be for a period of 6 months or 1 year. I think that is much recommended. But if at all that course is not available in India, then I think it is wise to go out of India and learn it. But
Excellent advice. Thank you so much. Because she's nearing the where she has to choose now, coming up what exactly she's going to do. So very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा.
Okay. Okay, our member Divya is asking, she's curious to know, how did you get into this business? What made you choose to become a cook?
See, I told you I was bad in academics. I was not that good in maths. So I had to do, after I thought that I will go and take care of my father's business. Then my mother's persuasion, my mom said that if you need to get married, at least a degree is mandatory. So then I thought, so I'm not going to get married. So I need to do a degree course. So I went on to enroll in a hotel management school. Right then, when I went for training in Chola Sheraton in 1993, I realized that how a 5-star hotel kitchen works. My father being a hotelier already, I had the edge over the others. I had known how to make a dosa, paratha, sambar, how to make a pongal. Most of the South Indian dishes I knew before entering the catering college, because my father was a hotelier. I used to take care of the hotels right from my 10th standard holidays. So I had the edge over others. Because of that edge over the others, the interest was higher. My work was appreciated. So the interest grows when you're appreciated, right? So I was given an opportunity to work in many kitchens: the Chinese kitchen, the Indian kitchen, the continental kitchen, and the bakery, the butchery, the garde manger, every place. So I grasped all the opportunities thrown at me. I worked 18, 19 hours a day. I never wasted a minute. I knew that this is my bread and butter. So when I started working in the kitchen, I came to know that my interest lies, my heart is in the kitchen. You create something, the likes of Amitabh Bachchan, Sridevi, Boni Kapoor, Rajnikant, SP Balasubramaniam, Bill Clinton, you name it, they have called me over and appreciated me and taken a picture with me. So when appreciated, it is a kick. It is like having a nice Patiala shot. So you need more of it. So
Yes, so proud of you. My God. This is actually an info to all of us. Aishwarya has a question. Aishwarya, would you like to ask directly? I can see that you are muted and your video is also off. Or should I ask it?
Hello,
Aishwarya?
sir. No?
Yes, Aishwarya.
My kids are along with me, so I cannot just switch on my video right now. Hi, sir. I'm a great fan of you, sir. Hi, sir.
Aishwarya, not very clear. Can you speak on the mic, please? On your.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, please.
Hello, sir. Sir, I've done my MBA, sir. But initially, I wanted to do hotel management only. But due to my family pressure, I just did my MBA. But now in Chennai, is there any courses or anywhere an institute where I can just go learn cooking? Because I'm so passionate about cooking, I really wanted to do something like at least to start a restaurant. If not now, at least in 10 years. So is there any courses or institutes, something like that, sir, in Chennai where they teach?
Aishwarya, sir, could you hear her question? Or should I repeat it?
Follow, yeah.
All right. Aishwarya actually wants to do a course in this particular line. And I think she started a small scale home catering business. Am I right, Aishwarya?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
But you want to do a course also in this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think after doing your MBA, if you're still interested, you can go and enroll in a hotel management school, do a 3-year diploma course or a 4-year degree course. There is even a 1-year vocational course at the IHM Chennai. You can apply for it, kitchen centric, or whichever sphere you want to specialize in a hotel. Even that is available. You can go and do it. But remember, doing the course alone does not entitle you to success. You need to go to the industry, after finishing the course, go and learn the nuances from a good hotel, work under good chefs. You have to give in a good 3 to 5 years time for you to yourself get groomed to become a good chef.
Okay, sir.
Guarantee that
All
anybody
right.
course in hotel management is going to be a successful chef. But seeing your drive, seeing your passion, I don't think so there is any reason why you shouldn't become a great chef. I think you have it in you and you want to do it. You can try doing a 1-year vocational course in IHM Chennai centric to kitchen, and then going over to a 5-star hotel and working in a good 5-star hotel for about 3 to 5 years time before even considering starting a hotel of your own. Hotel business is lucrative, but it is very, very challenging. Doing a business in India, unfortunately, is a little difficult because you need 16 licenses to run a restaurant, and most of it is irrelevant, and most of it is not, it doesn't even require you to have it. But you're supposed to buy those licenses. You need to pay your PF, ESI. You need to treat your people well. You need to train your staff. You might. This is a very human-centric industry. You might lose people fast, so you should have the correct backup. Most important that you know the job, and I think after doing all this you get into the business of starting a hotel. I'm sure that you should be successful. God be with you. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir. It is my day. I just spoke to you, and I'm so happy today. Thank you so much, sir.
Your pleasure's mine.
We have Rotarian Pankaj from Amethyst. He wants to ask something about, is it the right time to start a business? Rotarian Pankaj, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please. You can ask.
So, namaste, chef.
Hi, Mr. Pankaj. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. So I just wanted to know, I've done my hotel management and been working in the industry. It's been a long time. I wanted to start a restaurant, but due to this pandemic, then I decided, let me start a cloud kitchen. I have a place in Chennai, but I just want to know, is it the right time to start, or do I wait for a year or so and then I do?
Back when the pandemic was in its heights, food. If you see in this pandemic, people who made a lot of money are the grocery stores, vegetable vendors, because all the 3 meals were made at home. So people were not going to the restaurant and dining out. Today, takeaway business is higher than dine-in restaurant business. So no time is bad time to start your business if it is a cloud kitchen, because food is the most important thing that people want to, if there's quality, hygiene, price. If those 3 things are taken care of, I think every time is a good time.
Thank you, chef.
Most welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you, Rotarian Pankaj. And we also have one question from our own Dr. Jayanti. Dr. Jayanti, over to you.
Can you unmute me? Yeah. Hi, Mr. Venkatesh. How are you?
Good evening, doctor. Nice to see you.
I just have something to ask you. We have been going to old age homes either personally or through retreats, right? Everywhere we see that the kitchen is not really hygienic, or they actually don't really cater to the needs of the, I mean, namesake, they do something and sometimes they survive. But supposing we think there should be some guidance to these kitchens. It is definitely expensive for these old age homes to go for chefs, right? So how do you take Rotary? How do you think Rotary people can take any kind of initiative to guide them, or I don't know. Hope you get what I'm saying.
I'm not sure how Rotary works. What is your agenda? How you induct people? How one becomes a Rotarian? I'm not sure about the working of Rotary Club, but all I can say is find the right people and see that they are associated with you, so that, see, I'm telling you, a kitchen consultant, if he's a Rotarian, it might help. A chef, a good chef, if he's a Rotarian, it might help. A good kitchen vendor who is making equipments, who is in the manufacturing segment, if he is there as a Rotary member, or if you can arrange somebody of these type, these profile, who can come and give you advice, who doesn't charge it, do it as a service. It is very, very minimalistic that you need to have some nice enamel painting. You have to do the tiling work properly. You have to have good drains, and you have to have good lighting and exhaust system. I think that much is needed for a kitchen. Over and above that, it's all cosmetic. It is all making it look like a 5-star hotel. So it is not
being a celebrity. Will you think it's too low on your part if you are invited to look at kitchens and give them some corrections, suggestions or so, and then give them a little bit of how to cook and instructions like that once in a while to old age homes
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you are free.
Yeah, why wouldn't, I mean, I would grab at the opportunity if it is going to be of help. From Accord, we do a lot of CSR activities. We have Anandam Illam. We have about
Okay.
underprivileged children homes, which we have taken in our stride, and we give the food. We have designed the kitchen and all that. So we have our chefs, we have our people. It is not that only I should come. Under my guidance, there is a team of about 14, 15 eminent chefs working around the Accord group. So they can come. My purchase department can help with the best vendors. My engineering team can come and give the basic plan of what to be rectified in the places that you are mentioning. These things can be done, yes, as a social.
But how expensive will it be for the Rotarians? Because we have very limited funds, to be servicing.
I don't think it's going to be very expensive. A good kitchen can be up in $1.5 lakh.
No. Just for these guidance, people who come and just guide, how much will they charge?
There is going to be any fee for them. It is going to be a part of our CSR activity.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah.
And this is for the admin of RCCS to note, Suja.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Venkatesh.
Anytime.
Thank you, Jayanti. There's one question from Sheila. She says, how can we get into the industry when you post-bachelor's degree? With a post-bachelor's degree. So I think it wants to say that, do you have to do hotel management? That perhaps that's a question. With just a post-bachelor's degree, can she get into the hotel industry?
So for you to get into hotel industry, a hotel management degree is mandatory, or having some work experience without degree, some experience in one of the field that you're going to choose. The four main departments are the housekeeping, front office, F&B service, and the kitchen. So if you have previous work experience, like a couple of years of apprenticeship, or you worked anywhere, the experience can fetch you a good job in a 5-star hotel. If not, a hotel management degree is important.
I see. There's one question from Niranjana Sundari. Can you ask that question yourself, please? Niranjana?
Yeah, sir, and butchery shop I heard that correct on the line the meat cooks well and also meat tastes good in Kelly. Is it true? And one more thing, you and the Europe butchery setup namma urla illa. These are the two.
I think, is she talking about halal? I'm not sure. I'm a vegetarian myself, so I thought.
No, she's not talking about halal. She's talking about how the cutting helps in terms of retaining the taste. And also the hygiene.
Yes, that line and all she's talking about, some geometric line and all.
Not a John, no, whether against the grain, against the grain.
Along the muzzle growth or something like that.
No, see, when you talk about meat,
there are different cuts.
Talk about meat and its qualities. Of course, the cut really matters. To retain the natural juices, you need to have the correct cut done. If you take a chicken, if you want to cut the chicken into for a curry, you break it into 23 pieces. You cut it into 23 pieces. Only then the natural juices are retained. You make it into more pieces, more smaller pieces, it disintegrates. It does not serve the purpose. If you're doing it for a tandoori chicken, you can't cut the chicken leg more than 2 pieces. It has to be 2 single pieces. If you want to cut the breast, it has to be cut into 2 breasts separately. If you're doing it for curry, you can cut the breast into 4 pieces. That is the maximum that you can do. The same with lamb. The shoulder meat differs, the leg meat differs, the thigh meat differs. Every part, the rib part, the chops, those parts differ. The most important thing when we select meat, it depends on poultry, red meat, and seafood. Seafood, we check the gills, we see the freshness of the eyes, we touch the meat and see that the meat pops up after pressing it, so that the meat is fresh, it is tight and intact. If you go to the buying the chicken, we see that the weight of the chicken is less than 1 kg, and we make sure that the chicken thigh, the meat is tight, so that it is not loose or it is not old. Today, with technology, there are so much of injections that come. Even a 1-year-old chicken looks tight and fresh. but there are various means and ways of how to check a meat and buy it. But obviously, the cut of a meat is very, very important. Especially in red meat, it has to be selected, making sure that the correct cut of the bone is. Usually they don't do it. They don't splinter the bones. They get the correct cut. Will get the correct cut. But answering your question, why butcheries are not like in India, why it is not like abroad, we are getting there, but our consumption is way too high. Our population is way too high. Our requirement is way too high. So it is very difficult for you to follow all the norms. What you follow in Switzerland, where you have enough people to dress it, do it as a business, and as a business, sustainability also is very, very important. You sell mutton at 600 rupees, 650 rupees a kg. You go to US, you get it at 1,500 rupees a kg. So there are people who consume giving higher money. Here, you sell it at 650, the next shop fellow is selling at 620. So there is undercutting, there is business that you need to take care of. So you can't be worrying about machinery. You can't put a Hobart bone saw machine to cut your lamb. Here you have the big chopper in front of the duck, goes the head. So it's difficult to maintain your business how it is maintained abroad for various reasons.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
I hope that answered your question. Thank you so much. And one Vanilla wants to ask you, sir, that illa, or it's like a very practical question actually. Evlo recipes irukku. Illa chef ko illa recipe nyamam irukuma is the question. Do you remember all the recipes, all the ingredients that have been put in that recipe, or do you have to go through the?
No, it's like a lawyer, like a doctor. A chef also has to keep revisiting his books.
Okay.
It's practically impossible, at least for me, to say that I will remember all the 4,000 recipes that I curated way back in 1996. Even today, I have my books that I go back and have my doubts, which I clear. There might be small tips that I would have written in it, which I wouldn't remember when I cook it. For example, if a dish called uppu curry, which is made with mutton leg meat, the most important thing is the coriander powder, the curry leaves, and the garlic with the onion, which has to be cooked in the cooker first. And when we cook it, we add a piece of raw banana. A raw banana piece is added so that the flavor of the mild flavor of the அந்த துவர்ப்புன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, வாழைக்காயில இருக்கிற அந்த துவர்ப்பு வந்து it has to get into the dish, but so mildly that it doesn't change the taste, but it gives you a mild fragrance. So such small techniques which we often don't cook on a daily basis, I will need to revisit my recipe book and do it. It's practically impossible for us to remember all the recipes. And most importantly, everybody cannot master everything. In cuisines, there are hundreds of cuisines. I have mastered little bit of South Indian cuisine. There is North Indian cuisine, Chinese, there's Mexican, there is Thai, Korean, Japanese, Malaysian, Thai. There is so much. So it's not possible for us to know everything. So it is like asking a neurosurgeon to take care of my bones. So it doesn't work that way. So you are a specialist in your field and you take care of that part alone.
Absolutely.
Remember that much, I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for answering that question. Any more questions, ladies and gentlemen?
Venkatesh,
Okay,
on
there's
the
one
lighter
question
vein,
from Sukrita. Would you like to take that question? Would you like to ask that question yourself, please? Sukrita?
So, you can hear me?
Yes.
So I've done my hotel management 1 year in Aurangabad, and then I came to Bangalore and did cold kitchen in bakery. So I worked in Pros 11, that is a professional bakery, and due to COVID, I came back home. Now I've started taking home orders. Like I get orders regularly. So I just want to know, is this the right time that I just want some tip from chefs?
Whether it's the right time?
Yes.
Right time for what, Sukrita?
To take orders, like, because it's the initial I started, so I was a little bit nervous and all that. So now I've taken up few, so I'm still having that nervousness inside me, whether is it a good idea I did of taking up orders.
Go for it, just do it. Don't
If you're getting it, go for it. Yeah.
You have a backup. You can anytime get back to the industry. Don't worry about it. Now that you have started it, go ahead and give your 100%. I'm sure that people will swallow up your cakes.
In fact, I have been studying I've seen many bakeries where they replace the butter, they use margarine. So, but I use butter. So my parents, when they eat my cake, they say this is much better than bakery cakes.
Yeah. So I think if that is your USP, I think that you should tom about that and make sure that people understand what they're buying and why they should buy your cakes. So get a nice website done, put your products, learn photography, take good pictures creating, put them online, let people see your work, and I'm sure that people will be appreciating it.
Thank you, Chef.
God bless.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you so much, Chef, for answering that. And one more question I will just summarize into one. Can you please elaborate on how we can take care of quality, hygiene, and price? What factors in these areas can lead to a successful business? And can you advise regarding how to set the right pricing and maintain quality in order to have a successful business? She's talking about her business, I guess.
Everybody who's listening here will become a restaurant, successful restaurant.
Yeah.
I know of businesses that has been practicing the best hygiene standards, best recipes at the best price point, and have failed the rest of time. So there is no one formula linked to success in business. I have known people who have been doing it for the passion of it, not making money, just for the passion sake of it. So there is no formula for success. By keeping that, I mean, it would have been very easy if it was so theoretical and somebody can predict by doing all these 5 things correctly, your business would be successful. I don't think so. It is possible. The right time, the right place, the right price, nice product, and people have to accept it. And
lots of luck also, I guess.
And luck has to be there. So I'm sorry, I will not be able to give you a straight answer. If I had known it, I would have done it myself.
Thank you, Chef. That was really, really interactive and lots to take away. Messages like were pouring in the inbox. And I hope we could answer all your questions, ladies and gentlemen. If you still have any more questions, please keep posting us and we will forward it to him in his SMS or WhatsApp. One personal question on behalf of everyone. We are all going through this pandemic, Chef. Tell us a one immunity booster recipe. All the doctors and everybody self-proclaimed doctors are saying, "Idu saapta idu irukum, adu saapta idu seriya podum." Correcta neenga idha solla mudiyum nenikiren. The COVID times la enna saapidlam? நல்ல ரெசிபி கொடுங்க எங்களுக்குலாம்.
நீங்க என்ன கேக்குறீங்கன்னா அது பெரிய தப்பு அது.
நீங்க தான் ரைட் பர்சன் நான் நினைச்சேன். நாங்கலாம் நினைக்கிறோம்.
See, gargle with hot water daily, morning and evening, after rising from the bed, before going to bed. Make sure that you have a glass of hot water, how much ever heat that you can resist. Or coffee, tea மாதிரி தயவு செஞ்சு சுடு தண்ணி குடிங்க. Have a lot of green tea, have a lot of citric, steam a couple of times a day at least. Wear your mask, maintain social distancing. வாரத்துக்கு ஒரு வாட்டி கபசுர நீர் குடிங்க. ஜுரம் இருக்கோ இல்லையோ வாரத்துக்கு, அது ரொம்ப ஹீட் அது, ஸோ நிறைய குடிக்காதீங்க, வாரத்துக்கு. Make sure that you have a lot of hot food. Even if you get food from outside, make sure that you recook it, reheat it to boiling point and then eat it. வெளிலேருந்து வர பேக்கெட்ஸ்லாம் ஹேண்டில் பண்ண பிறகு ஹேண்டை நல்லா வாஷ் பண்ணிவிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறமா ஃபுட்டை தொடுங்க. இதெல்லாம் பண்ணி கூட கோவிட் வருதுன்னு சொல்கிறாங்க, அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி. So there is no one set process where we can say இது பண்ணனால வராதுன்றது. இது இப்போ science says that if the person having COVID is wearing a mask and you are wearing a mask, the chance of getting COVID is only 1.5%. So if that is the thing, doing all this might reduce it to 0.25%. Keep it to yourself. Don't mingle too much, don't go to the crowd. நம்மளுக்கு வராது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இவ்வளோ நாள் உட்காந்துட்டோம், இப்போ ஒரு நாள் வெளியே போகலாம், மாஸ்க் காரில் விட்டுட்டு போயிட்டேன், இறங்கி போய் உருளைக்கிழங்கு வாங்கின்னு வந்து சொல்கிறேன். அந்த one mistake could cost you dear. So more of common sense. Eating habits, I don't think so there is much, except for adding a lot of zinc, iron, vitamin B and vitamin C. So these things I've heard that.
Any special kashayam, chef? They say that kashayam kudikalam daily.
There is
kashayam.
Eat a lot of okay, I'll give you something that is simple. 2 cloves of garlic.
Yeah.
And pomegranate oda skin இருக்குல்ல, pomegranate fruit oda skin.
Yeah.
நல்லா வாஷ் பண்ணிட்டு அது ஒரு 50 grams, ஒரு 50 grams of that, 2 garlic, lemon rind, outer skin of the lemon, அது அதுக்கப்புறமா 4 peppercorns. 4
Right.
இது எல்லாத்தையும் போட்டு 15 minutes boil பண்ணுங்க. If you are adding half a liter of water, bring it to 250 ml. Strain it and drink it. Before drinking it, when boiling ஆன பிறகு ஆஃப் பண்ண பிறகு add 4 neem leaves.
Okay.
4 neem leaf போட்டு குக் பண்ணாதீங்க. அது ரெடியூஸ் ஆன பிறகு 4 neem leaf போட்டு மூடி வச்சிடுங்க. half an hourல அது சூடு கம்மியாயிடும். அதுக்கப்புறமா அதை ஸ்ட்ரெயின் பண்ணி அதை குடிங்க. Every day have 50 ml of this concoction before going to bed.
Going to bed.
Okay, before going to bed. So pomegranate, lemon rind, garlic, peppercorns, and neem. Can we use tulsi leaves instead?
Neem leaf is more effective. Tulsi
I
leaf.
see.
In the reason neem leaf is more effective.
Right.
There
So,
is
ladies and gentlemen, please do that because everybody they say will get it one day. So, if you careful,
of you follow Mahaperiya Panchi. He has told 75-80 years back. வெளியில போகும்போது வாயில ஒரு துண்டு சித்திரதை விதைய வச்சுக்கிட்டு போங்க அப்படின்னு. சித்திரதை ஒரு இது இருக்கு ரூட். அந்த சித்திரதோட வேறு துண்டு ஒரு சின்ன பீஸ் எடுத்து வாயில வச்சுட்டு மென்னுக்கிட்டே வெளியே போயிட்டு வந்தா எந்த வைரஸும் த்ரோட்டுக்குள்ள போவாதான் 70 வருஷத்துக்கு. ஸோ சித்திரதை வேறு அவ்வளோ நல்லது. ஸோ வெளியில போகும்போது ஒரு துண்டு சித்திரதை வெளியே வாயில போட்டுட்டு போன்னு சொல்லியிருக்காரு அவர். ஸோ தட் இஸ் அ வெரி குட் திங். அது வந்து ஒரு மரத்துண்டு மாதிரி இருக்கும். அதை எடுத்து வச்சுக்கிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு half an hour கழிச்சு துப்பிடலாம். அது வாயில இருக்க வைரஸும் நம்ம நேசல் வழியா நோஸ் வழியாவோ நம்ம த்ரோட் வழியாவோ நம்ம லங்ஸை என்டர் பண்ணாதான் அவ்வளோ எஃபெக்டிவ்.
பேசிக்கா என்ன சொல்ல வராங்கன்னா வாய் திறக்குது பேசாத வாய் மூடிட்டே இருன்னு சொல்றாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். இப்ப பசங்க சித்திரத்தை சாப்பிடுறது இல்லையா, சுவிங்கம் கண்டிப்பா சாப்பிடுது. சோ ஐ திங்க் கொஞ்சம் வாய் திறக்காம பேசினாலே உடம்புக்கு ஒன்னும் வராது, ஒன்னும் வியாதி வராதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஐ திங்க் தட் இஸ் ஒன் வே ஆஃப் டேக்கிங் கேர் ஆஃப் யுவர் செல்ஃப் அண்ட் தி அதர்ஸ். டோன்ட் டாக் மச் and if you do want to talk, wear a mask.
True.
Is this available? The சித்திரதை
yes, நாட்டு வைத்தியம் கடையில கிடைக்கிறது, டப்பா சட்டி கடையில எல்லாம் கிடைக்கிறது.
சித்திரதை
சித்திரதை.
Okay.
சித்ரான யாரா ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. அப்படியே சித்திரதை ஞாபகம் வந்துரும்.
Can I ask you a question on the lighter vein, Venkatesh?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
You mentioned about you did your degree with the fear that your mother said that otherwise you won't get married. The answer to this will determine whether you'll get your Patiala drink or not at home today. After this, which did you find is better, the marriage or the degree?
Oh, the degree. Hey, it doesn't exist.
He's indeed lucky to have him. What food she must be eating every day. I can understand.
You're a great person. You're a wonderful
He actually
person.
already hinted to us saying the knives and the boards and things are more friendly than the family because they won't ask him questions.
Let me tell you, success has not hit your head. You're a wonderful person.
Absolutely.
A very humble, down-to-earth person.
Happy remaining.
You love humanity.
Thank you so much. I'm blessed.
The best part about Chef Venkatesh is he has a very fantastic sense of humor and he's very witty also. I've seen all these shows and that wit is what makes him, relatable. We're able to relate to him as our next door neighbor.
Thank you. And I make sure that I pass on whatever little I've learned the way I have learned it, so that that has shown me a lot of success. Because even a small upma, if I make them, if you see my YouTube channel, my Rava Dosa is viewed by 3 million people, and I have about 6,000 comments saying that இத்தனை வருஷமா நாங்க ஹோட்டல்ல சாப்பிட்டுட்டு இருந்தது நீங்க மட்டும்தான் வந்து தண்ணி கணக்கு கூட எவ்வளோன்னு சொல்லியிருக்கீங்க. ஒரு டம்ளர் ரவை, ஒரு டம்ளர் மைதா, ஒரு டம்ளர் அரிசி மாவு போட்டு 5 டம்ளர் தண்ணி ஊற்றணும்னு சொல்லி தண்ணி அளவு கூட நீங்க சொல்லி தோசை கல்லில் போட்டால் எனக்கு ஹோட்டல் மாதிரி வரும்னு சொல்லி கொடுத்துருக்கீங்க. என் மாமியார்லேருந்து என் புருஷன்லேருந்து எல்லாரும் எனக்கு பாராட்டுறாங்க. we've got the best breakfast அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அத்தனை பேர் எழுதுறாங்க. I have not hidden anything that I've learned. There is no secrets in the kitchen. The more you teach more people, the more you learn and more you get benefited. I follow that and I teach as and when I get good information, I pass it on to the people.
Thank you.
கை பக்குவம்னு சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா, கை பக்குவம்னு. இந்த 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 ட்ரெடிஷனல் வே ஆஃப் இந்த மோர் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, இந்த தயிருக்கு உரை போடுவாங்கல்ல, that taste differs from hand to hand. Why is it that?
Depends on so many factors, sir. எவ்வளவு சிம்பிளா சொல்லிட்டீங்க. ஏன் The quantity of curd that you put, the temperature of the milk that you're putting it at, the thickness of the milk that you're using, and the sourness of the curd that you're putting for a spoon போடுறீங்களா இல்ல ஒரு ஸ்பூன் போடுறீங்களா, everything determines and how long you're keeping it, in what temperature you're keeping it. So உங்க கிச்சனோட சூடு அது மாதிரி. ஸோ சில பேரோட எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா கூட நீங்க சில மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி வச்சா அப்படியே கப்ப கப்பன்னு பொங்கிடும். சில பேர் மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி வச்சா என்ன ஆனாலும் பொங்கி வராது, புளிக்கவே பிடிக்காது. அது அவங்க கை குணம். சில பேர் பாடி ஹீட், பாடி ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் வந்து அந்த புளிப்பு டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் ஆகாது. அந்த ஹீட் வேணும். இட்லி மாவு கலக்கும் போது உடம்புடைய ஹீட் வந்து விருது. அதனால தான் கையில் பண்றாங்க ஹோட்டல்ஸ்ல எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா. ஸோ எவ்ரி ஸ்மால் திங் ஹேஸ் அ ரீசன் வை இட் இஸ் டன் இன் தட் பர்டிகுலர் வே. ஸ்மால் டிஃபரன்ஸ் இன் தட் வில் சேஞ்ச் ஹோல் ஸ்கீம் ஆஃப் திங்ஸ்.
ஷெஃப், உங்களுக்கு ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்கலாமா? உண்மையா பதில் சொல்வேல நம்புறேன். சாரி, somebody is asking. Am I interrupting?
Yes, I just wanted to know, is curd is better or buttermilk?
It's better, sir. Anytime buttermilk. Seeing you,
Buttermilk.
Considering your age, I think buttermilk is the best choice.
I see. Okay. And filter it and talk.
Sir?
Should I filter it or?
No, I don't think so. You need to filter anything. You just have to take butter.
There will be some cream and all that, no?
Watery curds. Please take it right. தயிர் ஒரு ஸ்பூன் எடுத்துட்டு ஒரு டம்ளர் தண்ணி ஊத்துனா அது பட்டர் மில்க் கிடையாது. வெண்ணெய் கடைஞ்ச அப்புறமா கிடைக்கிற அந்த ரெசிடியூ தான் பட்டர் மில்க். தட் இஸ் ட்ரூ. அத குடிங்க. தட் இஸ் குட்.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Chef, tell me honestly, this question many of us will be having in our mind, but we will never ask this question. I'm asking you this. How clean is your 5-star hotel kitchen? How hygienically do you actually cook? Do you take care of the over order வருது? நிறைய கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கேன். Those who working in the kitchen are my friends. They have told, in fact, how they manage. And the last minuteல ஒரு ஆர்டர் வருது. ஸோ ஒரு பிளேட்ல 3 இட்லி வந்ததுன்னா 2 இட்லி தான் இருக்கும், ஒரு இட்லி போட்டாச்சு, தூக்கி போட்டாச்சு, பிகாஸ் ஷேப் சரியா இல்லை. அதே தொடச்சு கிளீன் பண்ணி மைக்ரோவேவ்ல சூட பண்ணி கொடுக்குற மாதிரி கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கோம். Fast food is much better. பார்க்கிறதுக்கு வேணா அசிங்கமா இருக்குமே தவிர food is always prepared hot and on that day. Nothing is stored. There is no cold storage. அன்னைக்கு சமைக்கிறாங்க, அன்னைக்கு முடிஞ்சிருது. 5-star hotel அப்படி கிடையாது. சமைச்சிட்டு திருப்பி ஃப்ரிட்ஜ்ல போயிட்டு திருப்பி வருது, திருப்பி ஹீட் வருது, back and forth. Tell me honestly, how safe it is to eat in a 5-star hotel and how hygienic is it?
I would say 100% it is very safe to eat in any 5-star hotel, any star hotel, because of the fact of having so many rules and regulation. There is HACCP, there is internal auditing, there is external auditing, there is so much of things that we need to do as mandatory precautions for obtaining licenses. Everything is not got with money. You have to have your basics right, without which you will not be able to bribe or get your licenses. It is very difficult. To be certified as a 5-star hotel or a star category hotel, your basics should be very clean. You obviously have rats and cockroaches running in the kitchen. But I would say that even at Akkad, I have seen cockroaches running in the store and in the kitchen. Take high precaution, but human error is possible everywhere. The smaller chains of hotels, these things happening is taken for granted. Hey, karpambuchi dana விட்றா அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சைட்ல தோசை போட்டுட்டே இருப்பாங்க. பட் இன் a 5-star hotel it is not like that. Immediately the hygiene doctor, the nutritionist, the pest control team, the auditors, everybody is called for. There is a reasoning, why analysis done. The complete thing is gone for scrutiny and seen that it doesn't repeat, like it is not seen every day. Once in a month, once in a blue moon, once in a year. எங்க ஹோட்டல்ல சட்னில முடி கடைச்சிருக்கு. Human error. அரைச்சி எடுத்துட்டு வந்து சர்வ் பண்றவனுடைய தலையில இருந்து முடி விழுந்திருக்கு. உட்கார்ந்து சாப்பிடுறவங்க முடி ஐலாஷே வந்து சாப்பாடுல விழுந்திருக்கு. அது அவங்க ஹோட்டல்ல இருந்து வந்திருக்குன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So there is human error. There is possibility. A very serious case happened a couple of days back in the hotel where there was a used soap left behind in a fresh room. Checked out and gone. A new guest has checked in the next day, but there was a used soap in the sink.
Right.
It was unfortunate. A housekeeping staff who had to do the room correctly has not done it. The supervisor who comes and checks the room has overseen it. He has not seen the used soap being in the bin, in that soap holder. ஒரு வந்து ரூமை செக் பண்ணிட்டு ஃபைனலா ரிலீஸ்க்கு டிக் கொடுத்திருக்காரு. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் சிஸ்டம்ல வந்து ரூம் ரெடி ஃபார் ரிலீஸ் வரும். இதெல்லாம் ஆயிருக்கு, எல்லாம் செக் பண்ணிருக்காங்க 3 பேர். அதுக்கப்புறமா டியூட்டி மேனேஜர் ரூம்ல போய் கம்ப்ளீட்டா செக் பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் சிஸ்டம்ல வந்து ரிலீஸ் பண்ணுவார் ரூம் ரெடி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. தென் only it is assigned to the next customer. இதெல்லாம் ஆன பிறகு கூட used soap in the bathroom. Unfortunate. ஹியூமன் எரர். இது நடந்திருக்கு. ஸோ இது நடக்கவே நடக்காதுன்னு நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன். ஆனா இது மற்ற ஹோட்டல்ஸ்ல ஸ்டார் ஹோட்டல் ஹோட்டல்ல நிறைய நடக்கும். அண்ட் இட் வில் பி பாஸ் சார் பண்ண முடியும், யாரோ பண்ணிட்டாங்க சார் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு போயிடுவாங்க. பட் இன் 5-star hotel it can't be said like that. You're talking about cold storage. இன்னைக்கு சமைச்ச ஃபுட் எஸ் நாங்க கோல்ட் ரூம்ல வைப்போம், நாளைக்கு கொடுப்போம். ஆனா நாங்க அதை -4 டிகிரிஸ்க்கு கீழே வச்சு ஸ்டோர் பண்ணுவோம். மறுநாள் காத்தால உங்களுக்கு சர்வ் பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி 60 டிகிரிஸ்க்கு மேல அதை ரீஹீட் பண்ணி HACCP ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்ஸ் பிரகாரம் anything that is above 4 degrees and less than 60 degrees is hazardous. அதுல வைரல் நிறைய இருக்கும். ஸோ நாங்க ஸ்டோர் பண்ணும்போது -டிகிரியில ஸ்டோர் பண்ணுவோம். சர்வ் 100 டிகிரிஸ்ல பாயில் பண்ணிட்டு உங்களுக்கு வரும்போது அது 60 டிகிரிஸ் பிளஸ்ஸா இருக்கும். யூ கேன் பி ரெஸ்ட் அஷூர்ட் அந்த ஃபுட் பழைய ஃபுட்டா இருக்கலாம், பட் இட் வில் நாட் ஹேவ் எனி பாக்டீரியல் வைரல் growth. What is the guarantee that your food that you are getting in a ordinary fast food is not recycled? அவங்க மட்டும் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, ஒரு ஹாட் கேஸ் ஃபுல்லா சாம்பார் மீந்து போச்சுன்னா அவங்க என்ன கீழே கொட்டுவாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களா? அவங்க கிட்ட இருக்கிற ஃப்ரிட்ஜ் இருப்பாங்க. below -degrees or it is given after it is reheated. ஒரு நொரை வந்தா கூட நாங்க தூக்கி போட்டுருவோம். மறுநாள் காத்தால நான் சாம்பார் கொடுக்குறேன்னா அதை நான் கொதிக்க வைக்கும் போது ஒரு நொரை வந்ததுன்னா அந்த full batch of சாம்பார் will go to the dustbin. But in a hotel that might be passed off. வரட்டும் பரவாயில்ல கொடுத்துரு, ஒன்றும் ஆகாது. இப்பதான் கெட ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கு, யாருக்கும் கண்டுபிடிக்கும்.
சார் நாங்க ரோட்டரியில இருக்கனால ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்பேன். தட் உங்க வேஸ்டேஜ் ஆச்சுன்னா நீங்க யார்ட்ட கொடுத்துருக்கீங்களா? Have you ever given to any orphanages or underprivileged people? Or have you just wasted food?
Underprivileged homes, orphanages, old age homes நிறைய டைப் இருந்தது. ஸோ எங்களுக்கு ஒரு பேங்க்வெட் ஃபங்க்ஷன் இருக்கு, ஒரு 1500 பீப்புளுக்கு இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. ஒரு 1000 பேர் தான் வந்தாங்க, 500 பேர் சாப்பாடு மீந்து போச்சு. எப்போ எங்களுக்கு தெரியும்? நைட்டு 10-11 மணிக்கு எங்களுக்கு தெரியும் ஃபுட்டு வேஸ்ட் ஆகுதுன்னு. அது வரைக்கும் we will be waiting. ஓகே இந்த கெஸ்ட் வந்துடுவாங்க, இவ்வளோ பேர் சாப்பிடுவாங்க. நைட்டு 11 மணிக்கு it will be too late for somebody to come in or we going and delivering it to somebody because most of the people would have eaten it. இப்போ நாங்க கொடுக்குற இடத்துல யாருக்கிட்டுமே கோல்ட் ஸ்டோரேஜ் ஃபெசிலிட்டி இருக்காது. இவ்வளோ பெரிய குவான்டிட்டி 500 பேர் சாப்பாடை கொண்டு போய் வைக்கிறதுக்கு they wouldn't be having facility, storage facility, and there is no guarantee that they will be stored in the right this will go to old people, children and all that. So it is little difficult for us to say whether it is safe. Then we started giving it to pig farms where the pig are fed, the waste food is fed to the pigs. So adu kuda it started becoming a big problem because they thought that the food is bad, the pigs are suffering appdi solittu. So now all leftover food unfortunately is either sent to the cafeteria. After 11 o'clock it is sent to the cafeteria. The night shift people come as a midnight supper, come at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, they consume it. 90% is consumed. In a 5-star hotel there is about 150 people who are working in the night shift.
Right.
Midnight supper at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock during the midnight tea break, they come and consume it. So what can be salvaged, what can be kept as gravies or as meat that is not cooked, which is only marinated, we keep it in the deep freezers and use it for the next day's buffet or for the next party, which is uncooked, which is as good as being ready for cooking. So those things we can reuse. I just need to take a call. Can you give me 1 minute?
Sure. Go ahead, sir.
Hello. Sorry. So when such there, I don't think so. It is nothing is better than so we just put it in the garbage.
If we come and tell you that we have some kind of you can just make a phone call and people will come take the food, are you prepared to give it away?
100% we are prepared to give, but under the condition of they taking the responsibility of how they're going to handle it and whom they're going to feed it.
Right.
The person gives us an underwriting saying that we will be responsible for this food and we are taking it under our own discretion. We are more than happy to give it.
Right, sir. We got the info. I'm sure many Rotarians will benefit out of it. So you understand, and please do take advantage of this. If you see somebody really hungry, you can get in touch with Venkatesh Bhatt. Am I right?
Another thing,
so you're going to help us.
If project as a pilot project, if you can take it up and create facility with freezer rooms and rooms, then many people will be able to give you food from 5-star hotels alone, because there is so much of food that is wasted.
I understand. I completely understand. Yeah.
Some known chefs who are well versed with food, who can come and select or give you a write-up saying that these are the food that you can pick up from hotels. Don't pick up a coconut chutney. Pick up a pick up a dal makhani. Pick up a chicken. Pick up a biryani. If you take a biryani, make sure that you consume it the next day morning before 11:30, 12. If you're taking a curry, make sure that you're keeping it -4 degrees centigrade and reheat it to boiling point. All these, if somebody is able to give you a complete technical know-how, and then you have proper logistics and infrastructure to store it, so many Rotary clubs around, I think you can all join together and create this infrastructure.
Yes, sir. There are many construction workers who work all day and night, and they are living in makeshift, tents. They can be benefited. Their families are here. So I think we should actually collaborate. Probably we'll invite you to our Facebook page and we can actually talk about this. And if you have any leftover, you can just let us know so one of us can pick it up and make sure that it reaches the right places and the right people.
Correct.
I think together as Rotary, like Rotarians, we must do something like this rather than just seeing the food getting wasted. It's sure, it's very painful for us to even come to know that people are hungry, but the food is also getting wasted.
Yeah. For every kg of food wasted, I am paying 6 rupees for it to be picked up by the Corporation of Chennai. So
I see.
I'm spending money. If I waste about 500,000 kgs of food waste, be it vegetable peel, non-vegetarian waste, or cooked food waste, it's about 1,000 kgs a day. I'm paying 6,000 rupees a day to remove that garbage.
Oh boy.
And there is food left over. If I'm able to give it to somebody which can be of use, if the proper infrastructure is there, it will be rest assured that yes, the person who's taking it is going to handle it with care, and I'll be more than happy to give it. Not only me, there are about 55 in the city who will be more than happy to give it. And I really feed about close to 5,000 to 10,000 people every evening.
Sure, we will get in touch with you.
Sir, I have got a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Actually, I'm seeing that a lot of things are wasted. No, to save it. Suppose we want to have a small chilling facility so that something can be saved. How much would it cost, sir? Say for 100 people, food to be saved and given the next day. Is there such facilities here anywhere?
Anywhere around 4 to 5 lakhs should be enough, sir.
So it will be a worthful giving. Being in Rotary, we can save some. So many thousands of people are suffering. It would be helpful to some person.
A cold storage, yes.
Cold storage place. Is it anybody having like that, or to have that any licenses are required?
There will be some licenses that you will be requiring to handle food, because end of the day, as Rotarians, you will be responsible for the food that is taken and distributed to people.
Yes.
Nothing should happen. The person who's eating should not have any previous medical conditions, and it should not be blamed on the food that is being given. Having a cold storage facility will cost you about 4 to 5 lakhs.
Is it anyone keeping like that, sir, in Chennai?
Sorry?
Any organization is keeping like that in Chennai?
No, and as of now, nobody is willing to take the responsibility because it becomes a criminal offense by saying that I'm taking food for somebody and something happens to the person who it is being delivered to, then nobody is willing to take the responsibility.
You mean to say, is it because of the COVID you're talking about? Something happens? Is it because of the COVID?
Or sir, the normal days itself.
Why? What will happen?
No, the health
Food
department
poisoning
doesn't
and other
permit it.
things.
Food poisoning.
That could happen to anybody. I can pay and also get food poison. That's not the point. It's just feeding the
No, but
needy.
here you're talking about the food which is wasted. So it comes under that category of food waste.
That's
So
very
there is a
risky.
lot of risk factors involved, and the corporation and the medical health department doesn't permit doing that.
So you have
It is
no
a very
idea that
risky
there is something called
proposition.
expiry date and the time of manufacture. So if the food has been cooked on 20th of November, there is a sticker posted on it, and the chef or whatever the hotels or us will take responsibility. It is valid only for 24 hours.
It has to
An
be
organization who
stored
does
under
that,
correct conditions.
Yes, after 24 hours, it's actually thrown. So within that 24 hours, there is a label put, and it's just like any edible item. You can just come and pick it up, and we have to keep. It's a very big job. It's a very big thing, which can happen through social media.
It's a
project
and
by
this,
itself. You
uh,
can
this-
plan.
The
You
chilling
can plan it.
chilling project should also have the thawing and heating projects along with that. Then only we can be serving it. Otherwise, what's the purpose?
Jata, I have a
He was saying
question.
that
Yes,
nobody
please,
is
yes,
willing
please.
to take the responsibility, but we can take an intelligent responsibility. If we can sit and put our brains together, we can come out with a good system of operation.
Yeah,
Thanks
but
a-
actually
thanks
there
a
are so
lot for
many
it. Thanks.
jobless people. We can pay their salary and keep him, and we can
Yeah.
take care of all
So,
this.
so we can request Mr. Venkatesh Bhatt to come in for another meeting with the RCCS and sit around and discuss
But
about
sir,
this.
but sir, thanks a lot for your answers. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
I don't think this program should end without any of your one recipes at least. So I would like to ask you about curd, a set curd. How do you set the curd? I have grown up drinking, I don't drink milk, but I've grown up in a household where we had the buffalo coming home and we have milk. So the curd used to be like cake, but I haven't been able to do it for the last 20 years because I'm buying other milk. So what is the secret of a set curd?
See, you answered it in your question has the answer. You have grown up using a buffalo's milk right in front of your house. So today that facility is not there. You lost 50 marks there itself. So good curd. Now I have to tell you how to make good curds with almond milk. So I will the answer. So
this is not a paid program.
The first thing is don't set the curd when it is boiling hot. Make sure that the milk is lukewarm and add only 1.5 to 2 spoons of curd. Make sure that the curd is not bought from a store. It is not the set curd that you get in packets. It doesn't come. It becomes very slimy if you use that curd. To set curd, you have to borrow good curd from your neighbor or old curd at home. So set it with home curds and don't keep it for more than 4 to 5 hours outside. Set the curd in a hot place, preferably in your kitchen, on your kitchen slab, and refrigerate it as soon as it is set. 4 to 5 hours, it should be more than enough. Most importantly, if you want creamy curds, for every liter of milk that you're setting as curd, add 100 grams of milk powder. So that serves the purpose of giving you the creamy texture. 100 grams of milk powder, add to hot milk, mix it, allow it to get to lukewarm temperature, and set it in mud pots, which is washed and already kept in water for at least 24 hours. So the raw smell of the mud goes away and water is absorbed. Then once you set it in a pot, the consistency, the texture of the curd is very, very good. So I think these 3 things should be able to take your curds close to what you're used to eating.
Exactly. I haven't tried this mud. I should do that.
Mud pot. And
it's very popular in Calcutta. They have these mishti doi. They put it in that mud pot. So when you say almond pal, so powder palo nariya kadikirudhu. Packet na solren. Packet pali nariya powder palo irukku. I don't want to name them. I'll get into a problem. So one last question from one lady. Which is the best cooking oil? Benefit
anything that is not refined is good. Ghee, coconut oil, groundnut oil that is not refined, and sesame oil and nallanna. Things are very good for health. Nallanna, there's something called the pulling that you do, gargling in your mouth. That's very pulling. It's treated as a medicine. So cooking with the gingerly oil is equal to 4 spoons of gingerly oil for 3 months is equal to walking for 20 minutes. So, only gingerly oil.
You're saying no to sunflower oil, is it? Ellar veetlu sunflower oil da varudhu entherinju.
Be it sunflower or anything. Sunflower oil doesn't have anything in it. It doesn't give you anything good, not bad. But refined sunflower oil is bad for health. Anything refined is bad for health. So,
okay. So guys, yeah, sir, tell me, sir. Your voice is breaking.
That should be enough for cooking, no?
But this is one of the best. Mr. Bhatt, this is one of the best lectures we had so far. So nice of you. You explained so nicely.
Thank you.
And thanks to Sujata who conducted it so nicely. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure.
Listening to
I'm from Madras North, Rotary Madras North, disciple of Pandit Ravi Shankar, the Siddhargya Maestro. Thank you.
Okay, that's really nice. Very nice. Nice to have a very good audience, very interactive audience. I'm sure there is a lot of things that you wanted to know and your questions have been clarified. And Venkatesh sir, we couldn't have asked for a better guest this evening than yourself. We would want you to come to our club when we physically meet வாங்க கொஞ்சம் சொல்லி கொடுங்க எங்களுக்குலாம். எங்க மெம்பர் திவ்யா கூட சொன்னா, ஐயோ சேர்ந்து மீட் பண்ணிருக்கலாமே, நீங்க சமைக்கலாம் சாப்பிட்டுருக்கலாமேன்னு. So Divya, we are waiting for him to come and cook for us. கொஞ்சம் சொல்லி கொடுங்க, just teach us something, we'll be happy to learn. We'll have a joint club meeting soon.
ஜெயந்தி வந்து எங்க ஃபேமிலி ஃப்ரெண்டோ, அதே மாதிரி என்னுடைய பர்சனல் ஃப்ரெண்ட் வந்து டாக்டர் அனிதா பரமசிவம். அவங்க வந்து கேகே நகரான்னு தெரியாது.
எஸ், கேகே நகர் தான். ஆமா,
அவங்க என்ன ஆனரரி மெம்பரா என்ன சேர்த்து விட்டுருக்காங்க லாட்டரியில. பின்னெல்லாம் கொடுத்து போது மட்டும் நான் 4-5 வாட்டி போயிருக்கேன். ஸோ அவங்க கேட்கும் போது என்னால் பண்ண முடியல. டாக்டர் ஜெயந்தி கேட்டு நான் இப்போ பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஆல்ரெடி எனக்கு அந்த அந்த கிளப்ல இருந்து எனக்கு கேட்டுட்டாங்க, ஏன் நீங்க எங்களுக்கு பண்ணாம இன்னும் ஏன் அப்படின்னு.
நிறைய ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி வரும் சார், நாங்க சேர்ந்து திருப்பி மீட் பண்றோம். அண்ட் ரொம்ப ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ் ஃபார் ஹேவிங் கம் டுடே. எவ்வளோ டைம் நீங்க ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணது எங்களோட ரொம்ப 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 தேங்க்ஸ். Can't thank Jayanti enough. Jayanti, thank you for getting such
thank you so much. Thank you.
Wonderful speaker.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I didn't really expect this kind of an output. He's amazing. I didn't expect this at all. Mr. Venkatesh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Over. Pleasure being
so
here.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you think that catering can be a vocation, yes, it can be, but you have to go through a lot of hardship. It's not all that glamorous. It's not all that fun that you think it is. There are many children at Koyandaland who are passionate towards cooking. If they want to get into this line, please let them do it. Let them be prepared. Encourage them to cook at home. It could be perhaps the love with what they cook is going to motivate them, show them the love. It could be a very good vocation tomorrow. Engineer, doctor தான் ஆகணும்னு இல்லை, நிறைய வெங்கடேஷ் சாரே பார்க்கலாமே இந்த மாதிரி. பட் ஐம் ஷோர் தட் சோஷியல் மீடியா அண்ட் சமையல் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் விஜய் டிவி மை சேனல் நிறைய உங்களுக்கு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கொடுத்துருக்கு. பட் இப்போ இந்த காலத்துல நீங்க இந்த மாதிரி ப்ரொஃபஷன் எடுத்தா there is no dearth for popularity, there is no dearth for being known, because channels are open, social media is open, Rotary is there to promote you. So please go ahead and take it as a vocation. Encourage your children. And if ladies, your husbands are cooking, let them cook, enjoy their cooking. You also cook. If you want more questions to be answered, please post your questions to Venkatesh sir through our member Jayanti. She will forward to him. Thank you so much everyone for the kind attendance, for patient hearing, and for your involvement this evening. I had a fantastic time hosting this show for all of you. Looking forward to seeing you all in person. Thank you so much. And before that, can we have our president, Anandi from Rotary Club of Chennai, Meenambakam, to give the vote of thanks.
Hi, thank you, Sujata. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, good evening to all the Rotarians, aunts, Annettes, and all the guests here. It is my privilege to propose this vote of thanks on this wonderful evening. I, on behalf of all the participating Rotary clubs and the entire team, thank everyone for being here on this wonderful evening. And I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to our guest speaker, Mr. Venkatesh, but celebrity chef. Sir, ரொம்ப நல்லா பேசுனீங்க, ரொம்ப இன்னோவேட்டிவா இருந்தது. உங்க கைடன்ஸ் யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ்க்கு நீங்க வந்து இந்த கேரியருக்கு you have given a new meaning. நிறைய பேருக்கு this could be a wonderful career னு தெரியல. You have given a new meaning, and உங்க patience and enthusiasm in answering the questions was laudable, sir. ரொம்ப பொறுமையா ஏதோ வீட்ல பக்கத்துல உட்கார்ந்து சொந்தக்காரங்கள்ட்ட பேசிட்டு இருக்க ஒரு feeling talking to you, and thanks for those cooking tips. And உங்க குக்கரி ஷோ யூடியூப் நான் நிறைய பார்த்தேன். எனக்கு அதுல ரொம்ப பிடிச்சது வந்து பர்சனலா இந்த பாத்திரத்துக்கிட்ட இந்த மசாலா கிட்ட எல்லாம் இவன் ஏதோ பீப்புளை ட்ரீட் பண்ற மாதிரி நீங்க தோசைக்கல் எல்லாம் ட்ரீட் பண்றது, and the traditional food, the way you promote traditional food, and unga rava dosa recipe senja 3 million people I'm one, sir. I definitely did try your rava dosa and keera vadai. It was just awesome. And again, my special thanks to Rotary Club of Chennai Spotlight, and all the other participating clubs and presidents. And Sujata, that was an extraordinary way of conducting the meeting. You made it really interesting. Thank you so much. And this has been one enterprising meeting. And thanks, Barbara, for conducting this meeting. And on behalf of all the clubs, all the participating clubs, all presidents, all Rotarians, thanks to everyone, and a special thanks to our celebrity chef Venkatesh. But Romba Nandri, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let us all give him an applause.
Yes, a round of applause, please. Very patiently answered all the questions. Thank you so much, sir. And can I request our president, Barbara Bedi, to adjourn the meeting? And before that, we will have the national anthem.
This joint meeting is adjourned.
If it is after 9, no national anthem.
Yes.
Okay, fine, good.
Please rise for the national anthem.
Just 9 actually.
Yeah, they're, yeah.
Oh, I'm dying to go to the loo. Yeah. I had to wait just to adjourn the meeting.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब